Today's program has been brought to you by TechServe, New York's original and still the best Apple computer, iPod, and iPhone store and repair shop. For more information, visit techserve.com. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Third time on the show. And actually, might as well just say it, like, pretty much 4 years to the day. It was, like, August 9th when we started the show, when you were the first guest.
It was hot that day.
True. Yeah. It was hot. Remember, no AC?
It was a scorcher. No air conditioning in here.
Look how far we've come. So we got a packed show today. That was Curses. He's going to be dropping tunes all day. We have a live set by Xenia Rubinos coming up later. We have one of the boys from Worst Gig Ever sitting in. Awesome podcast. But first up, we have the wonderful Claire Moyle, who is from Brooklyn, but we met in Stockholm last August. during the Brooklyn Brewery, Brooklyn, Sweden festival.
And we had probably that day that we spent together afterwards was the most epic Swedish day.
It still rates as one of the best days of my life, I think.
It was just we woke up after the festival and it rained all weekend. It finally kind of stopped raining, and we just walked around the old city, walked down to the museum.
We saw guards marching.
We
had drinks at the Grand Hotel.
Yep.
Which, for anyone who hasn't been to the Grand Hotel, it's exactly what you think a building of a country
very
that's never
grand
been in any
hotel.
type of war. It still exists. And then we went to a really nice dinner, and then we went to go see the XX.
Yeah.
And we hustled our way into the list on in another country.
What is that venue? Burns.
Burns.
Have you played there?
Those olives are good.
I'm sorry, this olive is taking over my soul. This olive is delicious.
So the reason
I have not played there.
it's great. It's beautiful. And that was one of the first shows of the new XX stuff. So Claire's here because we're going back with her to the second annual Brooklyn Sweden Festival in Stockholm, third weekend in August. It's going to be amazing. What's the relationship between Brooklyn Brewery and Stockholm and Sweden in general?
So Sweden is our second largest market overall. So essentially outside of New York, Sweden is our biggest market. And Stockholm being the biggest city in Sweden, where basically there's a huge concentration of people drinking Brooklyn Brewery beer, and they're huge Brooklyn Brewery fans out there.
Yeah, and you're also opening a brewery there, right?
We are, yeah. We are partnering with Carnegie, and we're going to open a brewery there. Yeah.
How do you get to Carnegie? Brooklyn Brewery.
How do we get to Carnegie?
Wow, Darren.
Well, it started with, we actually did a collaboration beer with them, the Carnegie Porter, a while back. And over time just built up a relationship, and they really want to revamp their brand, and they asked us to be a part of it, essentially.
That Brooklyn alignment. There's that article that came out, maybe was it 6 months ago, where it talked about how, people from Stockholm and Sweden love just anything Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it's just, and you guys were cited, and then you're like, and now we're going to open a brewery there. It's okay.
Yeah. It's really exciting.
So last year it was very music-centric. You guys did have some food there. There was really great specialty sort of pairing with beers, things like this. But now the whole thing is more of a culture event. Can you talk about what the differences are?
Right. So last year, we focused very heavily on music. We sent about 16 bands from Brooklyn over. But, this year we realized there's many other parts of Brooklyn culture that we didn't focus as heavily on. And we really wanted to incorporate some more elements like art and food and film and comedy and, just kind of showcase all the things that make up Brooklyn.
Which we're very excited to be part of that as doing one of the barbecue blowouts there with you.
So who are some of the acts that are coming over? Can you announce it?
So the headliners are Designer Drugs, LP, and Lydia Lunch.
Nice.
So
No way.
Yeah. It's quite an eclectic lineup, but I think it'll be really, really awesome.
Can I just get Lydia lunch drunk and just have her tell her stories to me about what it was like to be in New York from the 70s and 80s?
I thought that was the plan.
Okay. She's actually not going to perform. She's just going to get on stage and we're like, what was CBGB's like? Let me tell you, it was a shithole.
Just interview her.
And then we got some DJs coming over too, right?
We do have some DJs coming over. Fingers on the Pulse.
I know those guys.
Yeah, you know those guys.
Those hacks.
Jonathan Tobin is coming over.
Soul Man himself.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, he's gonna do the Soul Club dance off. It's gonna be.
By the way, shout out to that guy for coming through like a champion.
Yeah.
That. For anyone who doesn't know, he was in Portland taking a nap in his hotel room, and a car drove through the wall of his hotel room and landed on him. This happened.
Yeah.
Now he's on tour.
And now he's on tour.
And he's still
Yeah.
unbelievable party machine.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He outparties me any day.
Yeah, and it just kind of
We have the technology.
yeah. So he's like the $6
Rebuild.
million DJ,
Yeah.
but like all on 45s.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. Yes.
What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to all of the different, how it all comes together to show people what Brooklyn's all about. I mean, I'm really excited about everything. Usually, I'm super into food, so I'm really excited about the food, and I'm huge into LP, so I'm very excited about LP.
We put together a good menu.
Yeah, company flow.
It's really great to watch these festivals kind of take off. It started last year as it's just like, well, let's just get it out there, and then see how it refines this year, and to see how it just continues to grow over the year and incorporate the Brooklyn aspect, but with the Swedish filter on top of it.
Right.
So where can you get information online? Where can you get tickets?
So you can get information on Brooklyn Brewery's website, as well as Debaser's website. And then, we'll be posting stuff on our Twitter and our blog and Facebook page as
And
well.
we'll send some stuff out as well.
Yeah.
We're really excited. If you ever want to hang out with us in Stockholm, we'll be at the Grand Hotel. We'll just be at the Grand Hotel.
Drinking Manhattan.
Enthusiastic.
Actually, I've been doing some research. I found this on that Saturday, since it's not an all-day thing anymore. I got this island that we can go check out and this inn that we can go eat at.
That sounds fantastic.
Try and top last year's.
It's
Magical day.
You can't top. It's just going to be different.
It's going to be different.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Hang out. We got some pizza coming. We got
Yeah.
some olives.
Is it wicked? And can I lick it? Would you taste my bloody knee? Testing the limits of intimacy. Round knuckle tries to temper my desire, but the drain builds pressure. There is no ally in this void. There is no ally in this void.
before we move on to worst gig ever, I would be remiss to mention
Not mention.
double negative the song contest that BK Brewery is offering, which spawned such great hits last year, like "I Take the G Train."
Yeah, so last year we did a song contest, and the theme was the G Train, and we had a ton of submissions. One, there's a really good auto-tune version all about the G Train. This year the theme is going to be Coney Island, so you just submit your song with a video included by July 31st, and you could win a trip to Sweden for 2. And then you could also be a part of our send-off show at the Rock Shop.
Amazing. I heard Death Cab for Cutie's going to submit a song.
I was going to make that joke, but I was like, no one's going to remember that.
They have that song coming out. Well, worst gig ever. What's up? Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thanks, guys.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Mike, and I am part of the podcast called Worst Gig Ever.
You know, how long you been doing it?
Just over a year.
I think your radio voice is better than my radio voice.
That's, that might be debatable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
You have a more classic radio voice.
Thank you.
So for the people who cannot figure out from the name of your show, what is your show about?
Well, Worst Gig Ever is basically a conversation between some guys who used to play in bands and do comedy stuff with other people who used to play in bands and do comedy stuff about the worst shows that they've ever had.
But it's also a mix. It's sometimes not worst shows. It's like their interpretations of
Sure,
what
yeah,
might be
yeah.
bad. Like Aaron Fenning from Awards, who did not ever seem to have bad shows.
His worst show was getting hit on by Misha Barton and
Yeah.
turning her down.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Fenning is of that special ilk of like him and Dev.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And whom I'm forgetting his name from We Are Scientists.
Keith Murray.
Keith Murray. Those two guys are just like unflappable.
Yeah.
Like those guys are like, well, I didn't hit all my threes on the pickup game of basketball. Like that's
It's open to interpretation what worst gig ever is, but it's essentially a talk about like all the ridiculous things that come with kind of being a performer or being an entertainer or basically being like an artist.
Yeah, and you also had Jess Rotter on there, which I thought was a great
Oh, yeah.
episode of it, who is at Light in the Attic, but PR person.
Yes.
And then her own interpretation of, I guess, just like worst days ever.
Yeah, well,
or worst interactions with bands ever.
It started off being very kind of much like an orthodox, like we want to talk to people who played in bands, we want to talk to stand-up comics, but then we decided to branch out because just a lot of people like in the arts or what have you also have this interpretation of like what is a worst gig for them. And in Jess's case, she not only does she do PR and she's an illustrator, but she also had toured with that band Dunion for a while, so she actually was able to. So she got it from kind of the other side of the fence.
She had that crazy party story
Where they headbanged till they broke the table.
Yeah, but I think they put on was it Ignition Remix? No. It was some song where they broke the table.
Yeah, it was a Black Sabbath.
Black
song.
Sabbath.
Yeah. Or Ignition Remix.
Or Ignition
Close.
Remix,
Close. Hey, one and the same.
Might have been a Black Sabbath remix.
So, what is the worst of the worst of now? How many you've done?
We've done about 60, almost
60 episodes. What is you went? How the fuck did you move on from that?
Well, that is the question. That's the eternal question. Like what, and for one person it might be like, vomiting on stage or whatever, to another person getting like the threat of physical violence or getting into a fight or like, the equipment breaks down or there's nobody. There's so much criteria as to what goes into like for each person for what makes the worst show. So, anything that deals with any kind of like physical malady where you're like literally are being obstructed or from doing something because you have to vomit or you have some kind of other kind of what I'm saying.
I don't know. I also heard that from the episodes, there's a lot of like hipster like passive aggressiveness that turns into like hand-on-hand violence. There's a lot of like throwing people up against like walls or like not cool man or
as I'm sure anyone who has toured in some kind of capacity realizes kind of the stress that you are under, the amount of times that you're spending with people in close proximity, and after a while sometimes that builds to a head and you need to let off steam. And people get into physical altercations after a while, and and maybe you had a great show that night, but then your drummer decides to throw you up against the wall in Madrid because you accidentally hit him in the head with the merch luggage container.
Just for example.
Oh, that
That does not sound that specific.
No, yeah. Well, let's just say that that happened to me.
But I mean, and for Luca, for DJing is such a solo affair majority of the time. Like, do you happen to have something for like a worst gig ever, or something that comes, or do you feel like it falls out different for DJs? Like, no one picked me up, or no one was at the club, versus like you versus bandmates.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you're going to have crazier, worst gig ever when you're with the band. Because you got that tension, you're traveling together, you're sick of each other.
I mean, I feel for like DJs, like worst gig ever is like a certain loneliness that comes with it.
Sure, you get lonely, then you make friends, but there's the you get spoiled. It's like,
Yeah, it's like,
this hotel? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to ruin it, but the episode that is out now featuring the Bresnitz twins.
Yeah.
They have some pretty good DJ worst gig evers.
But a lot of it though has the tension of us being together a lot of the time. So it's not like it's not
but
like
we never fought on the road when we were on tour.
Yeah.
For the listener,
Yeah, for the
Greg just gave a look. That
But I mean, not
daggers.
but I think it's not maybe not fun on the road, but just like the tension of traveling together, where it's like it's like you're not it's like you have to. I mean, when we traveled together as Punches, there was definitely 3 strong personalities on the road.
3 old Jewish men.
Three old Jewish men traveling around together, kvetching.
Yeah.
But I think like the solo DJ, it's pretty much like your car's there, your per diem's there.
That's kind of like the stand-up comic, too. You go in by yourself, you do your thing. You really, depending on what you're traveling with, you could be just having an iPod or a microphone or, maybe you're lugging your records back.
But what it's going to come down to, though, it's going to be, like, how good was the show? Like, that's really, like, when you're doing comedy or DJ soul stuff, it's like, it was either a good show or it wasn't a show. And surrounding stuff is not really that big of a deal.
Unless you get, like, robbed or mugged, but that's not the same type of...
That will qualify. There's certain people that have had that as their worst gig ever, too. Getting their gear ripped off or getting beat up outside the show. It's
I think when you're
classics.
traveling solo, it's more about maybe the worst travel experience, but it's not specific to the gig. It's what happens outside of the gig.
Right, exactly. Because, I mean, that makes sense. Like, you missed the train or anything. But it's more just, like, logistical stuff for solo people, as opposed to the special tension of just being trapped in like small compartments with other human beings that you are not married or dating or have anything, and you have to rely on them.
But like you said, the logistics, I mean, that's what was another reason we decided to do the podcast, is to like let people into what it's actually really like. They just see you doing your hour or whatever set a night, but everything else, the other 23 hours, all those logistics of how do I get to this place? We have to spend all this X number of hours in the train, on a plane, in a car with one another. All of the rigmarole of everything else that goes into doing whatever you're going to be doing.
Actually, Luca and I went on tour together. I tour managed Luca, and we had like the best week ever.
That's a very memorable tour.
Because it was
food tour.
Because it was, 2007, and it was just like we like had met a couple times before. But actually, on the episode that Darren and I did for your show, we talked about a food experience, and I didn't mention the artist, but it was Luca. We went to Miss Ann's Snack Shack, to home of the Ghetto Burger, and it was just. But that was like
phenomenal.
But like I had my job to do, you had your job to do, and that was it. There was because we got up at like 6 a.m. to go to like restaurants and things like that, and like if someone else had not been on the same page, it would have just been like tense. I could have seen one person coming and throwing off the whole dynamic.
Sure. You all have to be on the same. Like in my case, when I was touring, all 3 of us in the band really wanted to like take advantage of where we were. Let's get whatever the regional delicacy is. Let's do it. And so when you're all on the same page about that kind of stuff, it makes it a lot easier.
I think one of the things I like about the show the most is that it has this very DIY, please kill me type of element where you listen to it and you go, oh, I could start a band, I could do this, because everyone goes through it.
Absolutely.
Everyone has these terrible experiences of being in a band. And that's one of the refreshing things about what you guys talk about.
Well, the idea is that nobody... At least I don't want to hear about, the Arcade Fire being carried off the stage in front of 50,000 adoring fans, freeze frame, fist in the air. I want to hear about the Arcade Fire playing in front of 3 people and bombing and, equipment breaking, because that's what humanizes
I actually had a friend
people.
who knew them from Montreal back in the day, And one afternoon, he's like, "You want to hear some fucking stories?" And just like laid out pre-success stories, and I was like, I like this band even better.
Well, that's the thing. I was let me clarify and say I don't want to hear Arcade Fire stories at all. But the idea being that it's not a Schadenfreude type thing. It's like you can humanize with this quote unquote larger than life type character when you hear about they are just like I am. They do fuck up and have these shitty gigs.
Now you guys are turning this into a web TV show, right?
Yeah, we are.
That's great. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, we were approached by a production company that's working with YouTube, and they wanted to they loved the podcast, and they wanted to see if we would be interested in turning it into kind of a show for the web. And they said, we want to do kind of like a Charlie Rose with an internet sensibility type thing. And I said, that's perfect because that's how I describe myself.
Of course.
So it's a perfect fit. So we're in we shot a pilot actually with the guys from We Are Scientists. Black curtain, round table, Charlie Rose's rotting corpse just hanging in the background.
I think pickled from the alcohol.
Pickled from the olives, courtesy of Roberta's here. And we're in the process of kind of putting the show together, and hopefully it will be on YouTube sometime in the next.
Was that a new
couple
site?
months.
Never heard.
It's the letter U .TOOB. .net.
They're like.
I should have clarified that. It is YouTube.
They're like, well, we would have had you till you made that joke. They know. Yeah,
they do.
So where can people find the podcast? How can they listen? How can bands submit to get?
Of
put
course.
up on a pedestal and then
the plugs. Worst Gig Ever is on. You can look it up on iTunes. worstgigeverpodcast.tumblr.com. We're on Facebook. You can email us worstgigever@gmail.com if you got any stories.
Have you gotten to the point now where you have so many requests of bands to be on that you don't have enough time?
They're just coming in. In fact, I made sure I put my phone on silent because I'm the barrage of emails that we get. No.
It's very therapeutic to be on the show.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is to talk about... I mean, you got to be able to take... Once you start taking yourself too seriously...
I thought it was... I went back and listened, and I was like, this breaks down essentially like 8 years of our lives into an hour.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think about as well, but like all the stories are in there, and it's like, I don't have to remember any of these stories now.
There you go.
I think we missed the one where we missed our train in Barcelona... And we had to sleep on a pile of trash.
Yeah.
Well, and the idea being is that you're far removed from it now that you can look back and realize how ridiculous it is and laugh about it. And that's the idea behind it.
I was laughing about it then. I mean, what do you do in those situations? Like, there's not much.
Nothing.
There's nothing to do.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Hang out. We got some pizza up there.
I'll be here.
We got Curses coming up next. Talk about new single, new project. But first, you're going to play a tune for us.
I'm gonna play a tune that I collaborated with these new kids here called DKDS.
Oh yeah, they just signed to your.
Signed to the same management on Dudley, and this is it's a long one, so we won't do the DJ outro on this one.
This is really just a break so we can eat pizza.
Yeah. So we'll have a couple slices.
It's a good pizza break. It's a pizza party.
All right, you listening? Here we go.
Pretty good.
Again, is that the kick drum?
I thought we weren't going to do the DJ outro.
We went into we got pizza.
We got a pizza feast
And
over
we're,
here.
We're literally in argument if it's a young Alan Arkin or Stanley Tucci just sitting outside from us.
I think it's his brother. He's got. They're
Stephen
related.
Arkin?
If I'll put it this way, if he hasn't, if it's not him, then he's definitely let people let them be confused and get into places and get reservations.
Looks like he's got very Italian European glasses.
Guys. We're. I'm gonna blow. I think he's with Bobby Flay too.
Just from the back. So Luca, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me
And
back.
Curses, welcome back to the main stage.
Thanks.
After hiatus.
After a little hibernation.
Let's talk about the decision to resurrect Curses and really well done Instagram feed.
Thank you. I think I was just getting tired of mosh pits and people getting crazy and rowdy, and I needed a little deeper, more relaxing poolside after hours crazy vibe.
Which is funny because and we were talking about this before. It's I feel that you helped create the scene that you are. What what was the name for your Troublemakers?
Troublemakers.
You incited the riot, and you're like, you know what? I'm not. Yeah.
Were there
Let 'em have
there were mosh pits?
All the time. They still have you go hear some dubstep artists, you're gonna have a mosh pit breakout. It's I didn't get into DJing to have mosh pits at the
I've never been to a dance
event.
party where there was a mosh pit.
many times. Festivals
What
where a
was-
circle pit breaks
What
out.
was
and you're
the first
wait a
time
second.
you saw a mosh pit at one of your sets?
probably when we were doing early warehouse trouble and bass parties. So like 2000, like 10 or so, they started getting crazy when we would do things with like Todd P. and we'd team up and do events at like Don Pedro's, and all of a sudden you'd have like a mosh pit breakout when you play some weird bass tune.
Sounds like the most surprising gig ever.
But the thing is, we all grew up on like punk rock, and
right.
we kind of we instigated it. I mean, we would have mosh pits on stage while DJing.
Right, and then you're just like, you know what?
And then I was just like, damn, I'm getting tired.
Getting too old for this shit.
I'm getting too old.
Too old for this.
You know,
shit.
I wanna see lovely ladies dancing and good people and good vibes. I really got attracted to the whole after hours magic that happens with techno and house. And
what time are we talking? Like the 5 a.m.?
Yeah, like 4 to 8 a.m. to
like
me is prime time.
Yeah, where like it doesn't even really fill up until 2:33.
Yeah,
or get there. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's a great thing, and there's a longevity in it as well. So what is it that from like where you had curses before, you put away to drop the line, like now when you bring it back, what is how has it grown up or how has it changed from what it used to be?
I mean, it's evolved in the sense that it's definitely deeper than what I was first doing, but it's still really inspired by Chicago and New York house from the 90s. So a lot of like the classic dudes like Marshall Jefferson and Robert Owens, and combining that vibe with the newer sound and analog also. Making everything only analog synths, only analog drum machines.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So nothing pulled from the box. Everything.
Nothing from the box. Just having that happy accidents that happen with analog gear.
Right.
Really, it gives a fresh twist to the song.
So does that mean that like there will one day be a live Curses show, or is it always going to feed into tracks and it'll just be DJ sets?
It's a DJ thing. It's definitely a DJ thing.
I don't think any band wants to play a 4-hour set from 4 to 8 a.m. No, but I mean you could have.
I mean, hey, like Voices of Black. They're amazing. They're based here. They do incredible live deep house, live saxophone, synths.
Yeah, I mean people can do it, but again, that's not a one-man show.
It's not a one-man show.
Yeah, they probably get into saxophone fights.
I mean, I did the band thing. I can't. I did it.
Yeah.
I did the live show, dropped the line. I'm ready to go back to solo for a while.
Yeah. So what comes like now that you put it on pause? Like, where does like Curses going to exist? Is it a tour? Is it EP? Is it just like playing some quiet gigs and just kind of building? Slowly?
No, we're huge. We're doing a lot of touring right now. It's like I have. I did a 10 Snake tour, and we did dates with Maya Jane Coles and just U.S. and it's like North America, U.S. and Canada. So now I'm doing a whole European tour in September, and doing Asia and all as Curses.
I mean, and to speak besides just like being tired of like seeing bros mosh, like taking us the idea of like taking a step back as an artist where it's like it might not be at the same level, but like refocusing. Where did you feel like that went into decision? Like, how did you really refocus in order to like be like, well, we'll do this and change the goalpost backwards before we move them forward again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really started to happen again with After Hours, and I realized that's the right audience. And then playing at festivals where it was just like 20,000 people, they didn't really care who was playing,
right? And
they just wanted to get crazy and mosh. And so that's when I was like, all right, I need to take a break for a minute,
right?
And play at the proper festivals where people are there for the music.
You want to name check any festivals?
No, I'll
okay.
I'll keep.
Okay. But for that, it's like, what's the day look like? Do you like go to bed at like noon, wake up at like 1 a.m., have maybe a bite, and get there at like 3? What does the schedule look like for an after hours DJ?
I just keep going.
Wow.
Honestly.
Just nonstop.
Yeah, just keep going.
Like work in the studio all day. It's got to be a nap somewhere. No naps?
I'm not a napper. If I take like a 30-minute nap, I'm out.
Oh, it's like no.
I'm out.
There's no resurrection. I like we've perfected the mood of like going home, sleeping for 40 minutes, and like pulling yourself out of bed and just kind of like waking up on the train.
Yeah.
Which is like a tough move.
I sleep in transport.
Yeah.
On an airplane, I can just sleep completely easy right away.
I feel like that is also the breeding ground for some work together stuff where it's like your bandmate's trying to sleep and the guy like knocks him and he's like, man, I've been looking forward to this nap all day.
Or you got the pranks that happen, which can be fun.
Yeah.
Or the guy who's driving who wants to listen to music and the guy who wants to nap.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big...
I don't know. I think the prank stuff though it's like a thin line between like
Pranks,
it's
if you
like
want to sleep, you know, when someone's drawing a mustache on you,
What's the...
game over.
and all your guards are down. It's like and you're not like
finally at rat. Yeah.
you're like hey man, like that's not cool. You're like what the fuck the fuck.
What's the best prank you pulled?
I was just gonna say, this was amazing. This was when I was touring with the live show. I bought a giant bag of plastic cockroaches, and we would just get each other so good. You know, can you get me my phone out of the glove box? And then there'd be like 3 cockroaches. You know, in the hotel room. It's a little hot in here. Can you go turn the air conditioning on? You know, open the little lid and
That's like a
cockroaches.
really elaborate like did you see them and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna line item this, I'm gonna expense it back, but it's gonna be work.
It was good. It's because we had toured around Halloween, so we went to some Halloween stuff and picked them up. But then it got out of hand where we start pranking, you know, bartenders and waiters.
Yeah, and they're not.
And then it was like they'd get mad.
yeah,
Like
Well,
in the check, you know, you put it in there. Put a cockroach. They open up the little credit card holder.
Yeah, you're like, and I'm not paying for this. Like, there's obviously a cockroach in the meal. So what comes next? What for the rest of the summer and for the fall?
So yeah, just touring a lot. Touring. Right now, I'm just doing U.S. gigs on weekends as Curses, and yeah, like I said, September, October, November, it's Europe, Australia, Asia.
It's amazing, and then
It's a lot of fun, and what's fun is I'm kind of starting over, so I'm playing all these new parties that I didn't play as Drop the Line before.
which is great. I mean, and they're like similar size, a little bit smaller or bigger.
Yes, they're a little bit like it varies. Like I'll be
Yeah.
playing smaller rooms than I'd be able to play as Drop the Line, which I love. It's more intimate.
Right.
The crowd is there; they're really into it.
And I mean, how much do you tie the two together? I mean, before it was when you like they were both kind of like separated worlds.
They're completely separate.
Yeah, and there's no leverage of one for the other.
It's like 2 different worlds, and I'm putting Drop the Line on the back burner.
Yeah, hanging up the guitar for a second,
Taking the strings off.
taking the strings off, wiping it down with a nice oil, just kind of
Wiping it
putting it in
down.
its case. Right. So where can people find information about you? And
Cursesforever.com, and everything's the same with Twitter, Curses Forever, Instagram, Curses Forever.
right. Do you want to take us out with one more song before we get the band in here?
Yeah, let's kick it out. I'll do another one with the DKDS boys right here.
Rad.
It's called Lil Locust.
Great on Snacky Tunes.
Okay. I mean, that's a little different move than the hearing it to the end and the handles.
Hey, just it's all our. I mean, we're essentially DJing off playing songs off of iPhones. They weren't made for.
I don't know if you remember, but during the first show, we would like set up the whole turntables and bring it do the full rig. The first 30 or 40 episodes.
And then people are like, "We're DJing for 12 minutes. This seems a bit excessive."
Like show up with like the records and the Serato and the headphones.
Oh
and
yeah,
the
I do
stand.
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And they were like laptop stand here.
That's, you're going too far.
Too far.
Too far.
Well,
It is.
now it's time for the live music. I think I got it. Xenia Rubinos. Boom. We heard you during warm up, and your voice was great. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Who you are? Did you enjoy the pizza?
I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. And,
84. Worst traffic. Come on, right?
Yeah, it's not so pleasurable.
Are you a Whalers fan?
Am I a what?
Whalers?
Whalers? Not really. I do get a little nostalgia from seeing anyone wearing a jersey.
I've
but-
seen 2 or 3 guys with Hartford Whaler tattoos.
What?
I know. I was like, that is commitment.
excessive.
I was like, you may have been 6 when they were last a hockey team. So you're from Hartford.
I live in Brooklyn, and I make music. And my first record, Magic Tricks, just came out.
What was it like to make your first record? Now, are these songs that you've been carrying with you for years?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been writing music for a while, and some of these songs I wrote like 6 years ago, and others I wrote recently, and I co-produced the record with my drummer and co-producer Marco Buccelli, and we made it with a lot of love in Greenpoint, so it was a lot of fun.
Can you tell the difference between a song that you wrote 6 years ago and a song you wrote a few weeks ago?
Can I tell the difference?
Could the listener tell the difference of do they sound so sonically different?
No,
Because
I don't think so.
So you found your style.
It's not like old cheese in the refrigerator. It's just music. So you can't smell, there's no smell on it that's like, oh wow, that was, unless I wrote it in the 60s or something, but I'm not that old, so.
Oh yeah, this track doesn't smell yet. Just put it on the record.
It's got that stanky track. Yeah. So how would you describe your music?
I say that I write songs. I find it really hard to describe it, and I'm trying to work on that. So hopefully next time I see you, I'll be able to give you a better answer.
All right, well, let's hear one, and then maybe
Okay.
we can describe it. Or the viewers, the listeners can write in.
Viewers can write in.
It's like a Havarti or a Gouda
They can send
or
in
a blue cheese.
They'll send in a pigeon
Yeah.
carrier.
So what's the first song you have?
This song doesn't have a title yet because I just wrote it. I'm still working on it.
Awesome. Exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive. All right, here we go on Snacky Tunes.
Like a little lost cat up in the tree, like a lonely dog without a flea, like a last standing villager on his knees. What you feeling's all over me. You're gonna tell me what you wanna. You're a million black stars and the feeling's black night again. You're gonna tell me what you wanna. You're a million black stars and you're gonna live a million years. You're gonna tell him what he wants to. A million black stars and the feeling's black night again. You're gonna tell him what you want to. A million black stars and the feeling's black night again.
Nice. Powerhouse.
Yeah. I have no idea how to describe that.
We'll just put that in the awesome power song. So earlier we were talking about worst gigs ever, and we're wondering if you wanted to share a moment of not greatness of being part of this whole musical profession.
Let's see. I think once I got asked to move my car in the middle of a set.
They're like, hey, I'm gonna let you finish, but
They're like, yeah, this is really great, but you gotta, like, you know, your van's a little bit kind of like in the way. Like, can you?
like, did you have to
just-
get?
I had to like get off and like move the car.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
You got to get that
Wow.
rhythm section just working a groove.
Yeah.
While you like
while I'm out.
going around the
Were you able to retain the audience? Or did you?
Yeah, it was laughed off. It was fine, but it was a little cray. Won't be back there, but
I've never.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
That's a first.
That's a first.
Yeah.
So when writing this, what was your practice of writing this album? Did you have certain food that you like to eat, certain places you like to go? What was the mindset that you got yourself into to write these songs?
I was pretty much in my basement for months and then at a studio mixing. So I had a lot of takeout. There was a lot of dumplings. I like dumplings.
Nice. What's your favorite type of dumpling?
Pork and chive.
Who got you through the writing sessions? You can name check them.
Who got me through the
Yeah,
writing?
which dumplings?
Sounds like Vanessa's.
Yeah.
I
Pork and
actually,
chive.
well, Vanessa's is really good. I also went to Snacky in
Oh, yeah.
Williamsburg.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like my
Which has been there for
Go-to.
forever.
It's kind of an awesome go-to spot because they're open late. They're cheap. They're good. They're friendly. It's like, ooh, it's
Yeah.
really good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that was for emphasis.
And they've just kind of like been around for such a long time, and like
Are you
were
a
there before?
Are you a
and-
steamed or you a pan fried?
steamed, definitely steamed.
Yeah.
I like a good pan fry. I like that crisp on the bottom.
It's that crunch.
It's
You
that
gotta
crunch.
alternate though.
Yeah, I like to
Sometimes
mix it up.
different. Yeah.
Not necessarily best for the heart, but that crunch on the bottom, that brown, just kind of makes it really, really nice.
So, and now living in Brooklyn, how often are you on the road? And when you're on the road, you said you write with your drummer. Like, is it full band? Is it solo?
I play as a duo with my drummer Marco, and so I play keyboards and loops, like vocal samples, and he plays drums. And we're on the road pretty often.
How do you guys get along?
We get along really well, so that helps.
No band tension.
Not really, no.
What's the drive situation? You got a van? You got a car?
I have a van. I have like a church van, basically. It's like an ex-church van.
What's a
12 passenger?
Oh, one of those white.
Yeah, it's
Growing
white.
up Jewish, I don't. The reference is lost on me.
Excommunicated from the church.
No,
Yeah.
you have Jewish minivans.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got those.
Y'all have
We-
minivans. Yeah, no.
When we did that tour, we were in a minivan.
We weren't.
We were in a minivan.
Great way to tour.
Yeah, it was. They really know. I mean, if they're gonna fit a family in there, you can fit a band and a tour manager in there. Really.
So now that you're in Brooklyn, do you miss Hartford at all?
Not really. No, I've been gone for a while. There's not much there other than insurance. And I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
I got it. Do you want to rip us another tune?
Sure. Yeah, do we have time for like just one more? or
Yeah.
two?
How many do you want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Wait, I had prepared two, but it doesn't
Okay, yeah,
matter.
let's
Whatever.
get. We'll have you play, then we'll tag you out, and we'll let you get another one in.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. So I'll do a short one.
Okay. This one have a name?
No, this one's new too.
Oh.
You can call it palo, which
Okay.
is like. Well, I won't go into that.
Palo, 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 se va a bailar. Dale viento al mar en su paladar. Tú es palo, 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 se va a bailar. Tú es dale viento al mar en su paladar. Palo, palo.
pregunto si vengo a bailar o el martes pasado para entrevistar. Te pregunto si vengo a bailar o el martes pasado para entrevistar. Te pregunto si vengo a bailar o el martes pasado para entrevistar. Te pregunto si vengo a arrestarme. Se va a bailar, encontrarme trabajo. Dale viento al mar. Tiene la propuesta de encontrarme trabajo. Tiene la propuesta de encontrarme trabajo. Dale viento al mar. Tiene la propuesta de encontrarme trabajo. Te pregunto si vengo a bailar o el martes pasado para entrevistar. Te pregunto si vengo a bailar o el martes pasado para entrevistarme. Te pregunto si vengo hoy o el martes pasado. Te pregunto si vengo hoy a arrestarme. Palo, 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 se va a bailar. Dale viento al mar en su paladar. Palo, 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 se va a bailar. Dale viento al mar en su paladar. Do it.
What do the words mean?
It's like just imagery. I'm saying Palo goes to dance. Give him a good taste in his palate. I'm not saying. And then I'm saying you promised to get me a good job. You promised to get me a good job. I'm asking you if I should come today or last Tuesday to get interviewed.
Pretty good. Sounds beautiful.
Beautiful. Is that you doing the backing tracks as well?
Yeah.
Nice. So I want to make sure we get one more song in. So you want to tell people what you have coming up? Are you going to be going on tour for the record? Can they come see you? Where can they buy it?
Sure.
All the nuts and bolts and everything.
Yeah, so my record's called Magic Tricks, and it's out on Bada Bang Records, based here in Brooklyn. And it's,
Awesome cover.
Thank you.
Is that you?
That's not me. That's the photographer that started posing naked for this photo because it wasn't working. So he's like, I'm just going to do this. And it worked out. And so I'm the photographer technically, but yeah.
A little role reversal.
Uh-huh. And so the record's out. It's available. You can listen to it on Spotify or buy it on iTunes or wherever you want. And you can check my live dates at xeniarubinos.com. We're going to go head out to the West a little bit this month in August. And we have a date coming up at the Brooklyn Museum, too, for their audiophile season.
Let me just do it for our listeners. That's a Xenia, Rubinos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just so they know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so...
Instagram, Twitter?
Yeah, all that.
All that.
Mm-hmm.
How's your Instagram game?
How's my game?
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm new to the game, so I need some tips. I feel like I'm kind of sideswiped by the whole video thing introduction.
You signed on and you had to master two things now.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should just Vine it, and maybe that's
Is that Instagram
where
video thing catching on? Are people doing that?
No, some people are. I think people who do Vine are really serious about their 6-second craft work.
I'm very serious about Vine.
Really?
I'm very angry that Instagram did the video. It's
I
not
mean,
as good.
most people
It's
are.
not as good. It's
Yeah.
too long. I don't want to watch a 15-second video.
Too
Yeah.
long. It doesn't loop.
Yeah.
It doesn't loop. I saw some music things. Some guy, it was a staff pick on Vine. This guy who did a 6-second loop rap about gummy money.
Oh yeah.
My name is Nicholas and this is ridiculous. And it just looped. And it was so infectious. It was so good. And it had 600,000 views. I was like, and that was the first time on Vine I went, okay, it's sort of more of an art form than Instagram's just well shit, we don't want to lose people. That being said, I don't know if I want to set up a whole Vine account. I'm missing out.
You're missing out.
How's your Vine game?
I do a lot of comedy skits
Okay.
on the Vine.
Six-
Very, very structured.
A lot of cockroaches.
scripted. Yeah.
A lot of cockroaches.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be checking out your Instagram feed.
Yeah, maybe
We'll
send some tips in.
We'll send some tips. We'll do it offline. Then.
Yeah, if there's a good one in particular, if you give me kudos for that, and I'll try to,
I mean, we're
keep going
easy.
with
I heard
that.
that. I
Any
heard
good
that
food
I heard
is-
that the rule of thumb is that if a photo of yours gets liked by 10% of your followers, that's like the direction you should go in.
Okay.
So that's a pro tip.
Really?
Yeah, it's a pro tip.
Is that our actual tip?
Yeah. Anyway, why don't you take us out with one more song? Thanks for listening.
Thank you to all the guests.
Thanks, Mom, for showing up.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, and if you get to Roberta's, get the olives.
Yeah.
They're on fire. And look out for Cursive olive oil coming out, coming to an after hours near you.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if, like, next to the DJ booth, there was like an olive oil with some like ripped bread, some samples.
I'm down.
Family
Yeah.
style.
You get hungry at
It's
6:30
late.
in
It's
the
late
morning.
night. You're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What's this last one? Does this one have a title?
It does, yeah. It's called Hair Receding.
Okay.
And it's off of my record, Magic Tricks.
Is that a dig at me?
It is.
It's okay.
It
It's
is.
okay.
No, it's not.
Hey, it's afraid of my eyebrows. All right, here we go. We'll be back next week. Another good show. Have fun, Greg. Have fun in LA.
I will.
All right, take us out.
Oh, I can't believe it's been so long since I've seen you. I imagine the lines forming on your face, your hair receding. Oh, what if I send out telegrams to reach you? You're so far, but really you're Let's go out, maybe the Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right thing, yeah. Big time, bigger money, yeah. It's the big guns shooting us. Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right thing, yeah. Big time, bigger money, yeah. It's the big guns shooting us. Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right thing, yeah. Big time, bigger money, yeah. It's the big guns shooting us down. Won't you do it? It's the right thing. Won't you do it? It's the right thing.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions at any time at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a non-profit organization. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.